Vanessa Blasi here with News 10. Welcome to another episode of 518 Unsolved. Today we're going to be talking about a woman named Betty Conley. She was killed about 33 years ago. The exact date was July 8th, 1993. And today I have with me one of her children, Lin Conley. Lin, thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, yeah.
I really appreciate it. I know it can be difficult to talk about, and 33 years is a long time, but also, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, it can sometimes feel like yesterday.
Sure.
So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into exactly what happened, I would love to start with who your mom was, what she was like. What do you remember?
Yeah, so my mom died at 37. I was 17. My brother was 15. So in terms of what I remember of her was mostly as like a parent and how much of a hard worker she was. She was dedicated to her family. She was, working as well as raising us. Her smile is something that I always think of when I think of her. But she was a hardworking woman who had a tough life early on and was getting to a point where she could kind of spread her wings and, obtain her life. So.
Yeah. And did she ever have any hobbies or interests? I know we mentioned that she worked at a couple different places as well.
Yeah.
What was that part of hers like?
Yeah, so she was an assistant chef at the Cock and Bull restaurant in Galway.
Oh, cool.
So she did that. She also was into like gardening.
Cool.
And she was a really great baker. So she never missed any of my athletic games. She was a big supporter of my brother and I. And she was a busy woman, always trying to do something.
Yeah. How long was she working at this specific Extra Mart store? Do you know about how many years or months?
Was not very long. So she picked up that job maybe a few months, if even that long, before she was murdered in July of 1993. And, she was working there to make extra money so she could help me go to college, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't very long that she was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So to give everyone a little bit of background on this, we know a little bit of information about what happened. We know that Betty was killed at the Extra Mart, which was located, I have the address as 1958 State Route 67 in Charlton.
Yeah.
And we know that she was doing an overnight shift. Was that common or typical for her to do?
She did the overnight sometimes, but it wasn't like all the time. The Extra Mart is now closed down. It seems like a pretty empty building now. It's next to the Harmony Mills Firehouse, ironically. But yeah, she did work sometimes nights. It wasn't like her full-time job because she had other jobs going on too. Yeah. I think that's part of what is so strange about it. She hadn't been there for very long. They hadn't been doing overnights very long either. So there's some...
Yeah, no, it's interesting too. Just I wasn't sure if people got to know her at that specific place, but I know you did mention that just the area was a small town that a lot of people knew each other. Is that right?
Yep, a lot of, and like I said, she worked across the street at this place called Chuck's, where all the kids would go out for lunch Monday through Friday, and she worked there multiple times a week, so she knew a lot more people in town than someone who wouldn't be at the school all day.
Right. And what do you remember from that day? So it was July 8th, 1993.
Yeah.
And around 3 a.m. in the overnight shift at some point. What do you remember? How did you find out?
Yeah, so like I said, I was 17. I had just graduated high school. I was babysitting in Glens Falls, and life is so wild, right? Because I was up until like 2 in the morning talking with my friend about how she felt when her brother died, who was only like 18 or 19. Went to bed, and then at like 6:30 in the morning, this pre-cell phones, the phone's ringing, and I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm not up at this time. I picked the phone up, and I was like, hello? And it was my dad. And he's like, hey. He's like, I got to come tell you something. And I was like, what? He's like, I got to talk to you about the truck, which I was driving his truck at the time. And I was like, okay. I hung up the phone as I was 17.
Right.
I was like sleepy and,
Right.
But I was like, that's weird. And then our neighbor at the time drove him up to the driveway, and he was probably about 45 minutes from where I was at the time. So I was waiting for him to come. As soon as he got out of the car, the way he was walking, I was like, something's wrong. And he came up to the door, and I was like, hey. And he's like, hey. He's like, your mom's dead. And I was like, what? And I'm like thinking, like, she's not sick. Like, there's nothing wrong with her. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, she's dead. And I was like, well, what happened? Yeah. And he's like, I don't know. And at the time, it wasn't, we didn't know that she had been shot once in the back of the head. But that's how I found out. And then I rode with him back to where he still lives in Galway, where I grew up, where my mom lived with us and everything. And my brother opened the door, and he was like, is it true? And he was crying, and I was just like, oh, my God. So that was the morning of July 8th in 1993. So,
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
So difficult to listen to. Just you were so young. Your brother was even younger, you mentioned, too, at the time.
Yeah.
And just not knowing what happened this is an obvious question, was that difficult to not know?
Yeah, I think that, we want reasons for things, right? And to have so many lives, not just my immediate family, but everybody who loved her, and people who probably didn't even know her probably felt the effects of this, because it seems so insensible. Like, it doesn't make sense. I think it changed a lot of people's lives, and for a short time afterwards, the police were like, you guys got to be careful, you got to watch, because they didn't know who it was or why it happened. And so, the trauma of a murder, and then the trauma of thinking that person could be going after you, and then dealing with the police, it was just so much.
So many layers that you can't even begin to describe here with me. I can't even imagine. Yeah. What did it look like after the fact? Because obviously there still is no person arrested, no confirmed person. Did the police ever have any super strong leads that they made you guys aware of? Yeah, so I'm aware of a couple of strong leads. I know I wouldn't say that this is an easy case to solve, but I do think this is solvable. I think, and I've been saying this for years now, is someone knows something. Because someone out of that group of however many people went, which there is a good idea about, had to tell somebody somewhere. And after 30 years, people get divorced, people get in fights, kids hear things, people die. Someone has an opportunity here to do the right thing. Right. I think I like what you said there, that you believe that obviously it's difficult, but that it is solvable. Yeah. I like that you said that, because I think the sheriff's office believes that. They've put that out there. And just the comments that I've been reading from people also believe that. Those who mentioned that, this affected the community, not just your immediate family, just everyone that knew her and even didn't know her as well. So from that night, did the police ever share with you any type of motive? I know online they shared that there was some money stolen from the cash register.
Yeah, I guess there was maybe $100 stolen from the register, so that's probably assumed robbery, right? So I think there's a couple different working theories. Most of them involve someone who needed some drug money, but that's not the exclusive theory. There's a couple viable ones that, it's just a click away from being solved, basically. It's just one thing needs to come in for this to end.
Right.
So I think that there's some leads. There's some good working leads. It's been a matter of time, and apparently it's still going to be a matter of time. But I don't think that this is an unsolvable case by any means.
In that matter of time, I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the 33 years that's gone by, does it feel like that long to you?
Oh, not really. As I was saying, my brother and I, this has been prevalent and imprinted in our entire lives. So to have a context or a frame of mind when that wasn't in our life is almost non-existent. So I've come to look at this more in terms of like a marathon. In 2021, when I kind of first started bringing this up, like I was getting all this information that I never had, and I was like, wow, like this is a potential, like this could be it. And it felt like a sprint, you know? But this time, I understand it's a marathon. And
That's interesting, a way to put it, actually. So what you mean by that, the sprint was more direct answers that you thought were going to be it, and now you're taking it slower? Is that what you mean?
I thought that, like, I would just kind of start working on this, and, like, the answers would come forward, and it would be clear, like, quickly. But now I know that it's just diligence and time put in to get the outcome that we all want. Because like I said, someone knows something.
Absolutely.
There's no, unless you're a psychopath, right? So not good odds of that.
No,
but, the community took a hit after this, and I think it would do a lot of healing. I think it would help the Saratoga Sheriff County to have this solved. That would be good for them. Like, it's a win-win. So I do think it's possible.
For everyone involved. And you mentioned that your dad, is he still around as well? Is he still? Okay. Yep. I'm sure he wants the answers too. Do you talk about it with your family? Or do you...
Well, I think we attempt to. My dad and my brother are like... they're guys, and so to have tears or whatever is, still challenging in a lot of ways. But I think that as a family, the three of us have come really a long way and gotten kind of closer again because, that bomb was dropped and everything was broken.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I keep saying this, but I just really can't imagine what happens after that,
Yeah.
And it has been over 30 years, and you seem to just want the answers at this point, I think.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember my mother and not, it's easy not to work on this stuff because this stuff is hard.
Yeah.
But I think we have to honor her and the good person that she was and all that she did. And it's okay to be sad, but still try to, get some answers.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. And I do appreciate you coming here because I'm sure every time you bring it up, it's not welcome in your mind to have all these emotions come back to you all of the time.
I appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk about my mom and just to get her story out a little bit, and people can, celebrate her life and whatever little kindness they may experience from her.
Absolutely. And from that night, I was reading a little bit more about the witness reports that the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office had shared. So I just wanted to read off of them. So they mentioned that there were some witnesses who reported seeing a mid-1980s white sedan, possibly four-door model, parked in the business's parking lot. They described it as a little bit rusty, had primer. I'm sure all of this you've heard before. And then another thing I wanted to share is that they had a person of interest at one point, or possibly still do, a white male about 6'2", 30 to 35 years old, about shoulder-length blonde hair. So I believe that's really what the sheriff's office was pushing out for people to have these details and to try and think back if they had seen that in the area. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I would say that that's correct. I would also say that if you know and loved anybody who, may have been acting different after this murder, if, a younger person was out that night and then, their behavior changed, like just something to notice. If you know people who had a white car then who may have been borrowing it or whatever, those are definitely good things to keep an eye out for.
Things you might not think of, even like borrowing a car, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Totally.
Something like that. And like you said, too, it was the summer overnight. So, if the person of interest is in the younger range, 30 to 35, all of those are good points to make. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just about yourself, too. I know you mentioned you were 17 when it happened.
Yeah.
And that was the summer right after high school. How did things change after that?
I was supposed to go away to college, and I ended up going for like 2 days and then coming home, and I ended up going to Adirondack Community College. That was just one very obvious way that it changed. But I think for anyone who doesn't have their mother physically in their life anymore, the way that it changes is really intangible, because in a lot of ways they're very much the glue, and they're who talks to who and keeps this and does this. And when you lose that glue, you have to, it changes everything.
Yeah, no, it was beautifully said. Yeah, there's not one thing that you can point out, because it is just a compilation of lots of things in your everything, like you said. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think now is a good time we could take a short break, and I would love to, once we come back, talk about the things that have come about, the Memorial Scholarship, the Instagram and Facebook page that has been created, just the things that are still out there for people, and how we move forward, how the community can help, and any last things you want people to know about your mom as well. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. So as I mentioned, we have a few more things that we'd like to talk about. So thank you so much again for being here. The first thing I'd like to talk about is just the fact that this happened, before the age of cameras were everywhere. The technology has obviously changed. Is that one of the challenges of this case, or what would you say has been a challenge?
I think that's one of them. Yeah. I think it's been one of them.
Yeah, just the development of technology over the years. I did see, was there a camera in the store that they had, or that was not an actual recording camera?
Yeah, I think it was a camera that notified whoever was working that someone was coming in. Right. I don't know the specifics of sort of the function of that camera, but definitely I think if this case were to happen now, there'd be a whole different mode of conduct for collecting things and all that. So that is one of the challenges.
Right. Yeah. Do you know, was it reported right away when it happened? Was there any delay in that sense at all that you remember?
Well, from what I understand is that someone had come in and found her on the floor there, and I think they had to because there's no cell phones, so they had to go to a pay phone and call the police. I don't know how long in between. I don't know if that answer is. It wasn't very long though, from what I understand.
Right.
But I don't think there was really much of a delay.
Okay, that's good. I know sometimes, there is a delay and that creates more problems, obviously.
Totally.
Time's always of the essence in any case. So,
Yeah.
So that is good. And I know you mentioned you found out that morning, too.
Yep, I found out that morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And since then, I have seen that there was a scholarship put in place. Do you mind describing what exactly that is and when that was created?
Yeah. So I think it was in 2022. A friend of mine was like, listen, why don't you try and make something good out of this in your mother's name? And she suggested a scholarship, and I was like, that's really a good idea. So we made a scholarship in her name. It's the Betty Conley Memorial Scholarship, and every year, and there's something special about this year, but every year she a $500 donation goes to a student at Galway High School who has overcome some type of adversity or, that sort of thing. And this year, Betty's only grandson graduated high school. So I asked the group if they'd be okay if he received the scholarship. So this year he got it, and I got to tell him that it was from his grandmother and everyone who loved her.
Oh, that is so special.
So trying to make some good stuff happen.
Yeah, that is so special. Was that your brother's child? Oh, that's so special.
He's a good kid.
I love that. So it's been about 4-ish years that it's been happening.
Yeah, it's about 4 years. I think it has funds for 2 or 3 more years, so I could certainly, fundraise again at some point in time.
Great.
But yeah, helping out a local student at Galway in Betty's name.
Yeah, and what was her grandchild's reaction? Did he know about the scholarship? Or did he have a feeling?
He did not know. I did not tell him. I told my brother that he was going to get it, and I told my father, and they both were like, that's really good.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But I didn't see him because I had to work when he got it. But
Yeah.
he messaged me right away, and he was like, thank you so much. And I have a Facebook group called Justice for Betty Conley, and so he's in that group, and I see him, like things, and I see people talk about his grandma and how she was so nice, and so he gets to kind of know her a little bit in that way.
Because he never got a chance to meet her,
Never got a chance to know her, yeah.
And tell me about that Facebook group, too. When did you create that and why?
Yeah, so I started the Facebook group in 2020, and I started it because I wanted to try to be vocal about this case earlier, and I had thought of doing it sooner, but it's so challenging. So the group started because it's a resource for the people in the community to come, to hear things, to get updates, to post stuff that they need. Also to let people know that this isn't forgotten. And, time is ticking, and whoever did this, we're still looking for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're dead, we're looking for you. So it's just really to keep her name out there and to keep it in the community.
Yeah. How has that been going? Were you were posting a bunch since 2020, you think?
No, I think that I posted a bunch, like I said, 21, 20, 22 maybe. Yeah. And then I took a little break, and on the anniversary I was like, okay, I got to post some stuff and kind of, get this back in the forefront.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned that there's different reasons for the Facebook group for the scholarship, and a friend had brought you the idea for the scholarship.
Yeah.
Do you think that Betty would have liked that idea for the scholarship itself? Do you feel like it encapsulates her and her nature?
Oh, hell yeah. I think she would have loved it. She would have loved helping a young person,
Because it's, like you said, it's for someone who goes through or has went through adversity, right?
Her mom died when she was 12. She was one of 8. She was a foster kid. She grew up poor. She didn't even graduate high school. She ended up getting her GED later, but she really liked helping people, and she was a nice, good person.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that part either.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So she has 7 other siblings?
5 of them have died. Okay. So she has 2 remaining sisters. One lives, half a mile from my father. The other in Scotia. And so she still has 2 sisters here.
Okay, so still local, everyone.
Yeah.
And I know you talked about your brother a little bit before. Is there anything else that you wanted to share just on his side of things? I know he's not here today. So anything that you think you would want to share as well?
Well, I think for my brother being 15, he was a total mama's boy. He was with her everywhere. They did everything together. And for him at 15 to experience such heartbreaking violence for no reason is completely devastating. And he has a family. He's got a nice job, all that sort of stuff. But he still deals with it to this day.
Yeah, I'm sure you do too.
As well, and as well as everyone who misses her.
Yeah, and it's a whole community too. I'm sure everyone in that Facebook group and way beyond that as well.
Yeah.
So anything as we wrap up here, anything that I missed that you want people to know about your mom that I didn't get to touch on yet at all?
No, that she was a really good person, and if someone wanted to steal that money from her, she would have given it to them. The joke in my family was she would ask him if he wanted a sandwich as he left. She didn't need to die. And so I just want the community and people who know and love her to keep her in your thoughts and to keep an open mind about this and to not forget about her.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I want to show people where they can reach out. If you do have any information, you're asked to contact the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office. Specifically, I've been seeing investigator Samuel Speziale. I might be mispronouncing that. I'm not sure if you know more than me. But that phone number is 518-363-8980. There's also an email address I can share as well. But that is everything that I had. Thank you so much for joining me today, Lynn. And we'll be sure to share this and get the word out just to keep people thinking about it and hopefully get some answers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks so much.